Hi, everyone. This is Julie Roth-Novak. I am the CEO and co-founder of PartySlate. I have to say, I know it's been a crazy time in quarantine and it's challenging days, but I'm so alive with Ben Higgins from The Bachelor. Most people who know me know I'm a Bachelor diehard fan. And there's been
Hey!
You have no idea. I know I'm a serious business person and venture-backed business, but this is making my day to talk to the one and only Ben Higgins.
You're making my day, and I got to start by right away apologizing. I was just outside, and I've done nothing weird here. My allergies are so bad that
Did someone punch you? Jordan Kimball?
I wish that was the case. No. If I sneeze, I'm sorry, but we're just all going to have to be...
I have allergies, too. We know you're human. That's okay. But I want to thank you for joining us on our PartySlate Insta Live. You're recently engaged. We've been following along. We have a Slack channel all about the Bachelor, Bachelorette. So we're huge fans. Congratulations, first of all. You and your beautiful fiance are in this crazy, quarantine time and now planning a wedding. And so how are you guys thinking about, what type of event you're going to have, when you're going to have it during this time of isolation?
Weird. There's so many good lessons. Take some Allegra. Thank you. I took Claritin today. There's a lot of good lessons learned, and not to get too serious on you. It's weird. So my original plan was to propose to Jessica March 21st.
Yes.
In New York City. I was on tour. That changed quickly. And we just did it in her parents' backyard. And then the question was when are we going to have a wedding? And everything that we're reading and hearing, people are saying, hey, people might not be able to gather together till, mid next year. And we didn't want to start planning a wedding and kind of be frustrated with the process of when are we going to be able to actually get together.
Yes.
So we've had to, as a couple, really had to be patient. It hasn't been easy. Like, we've gotten really excited at times. We've talked about it at times, and it's like it's still a year and a half out.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be a year and a half out, quite honestly. So the lesson learned is like a lot of patience and communication right now.
Yeah, and I think many people are deciding to have the service now and then the celebration later. And I know, again, interestingly, people are still coming to PartySlate to find new ideas. They want to celebrate their milestones, and we're so glad people are still looking forward to those. But there comes a point where, do you think that you'll have the service early and the party later, or do you think you'll just push it out so you can have it all at once?
We've talked about it. I don't know yet. The one thing for us is there's been so many people who have been incredibly supportive of our relationship and of me personally over the years that I think both of us have always dreamed to look out and see our parents and grandparents. And Jessica comes from a huge Italian family, like her family and friends sitting out there with us.
Yes.
Now, that was an expectation, and we know expectations can change, and there's great ways to do it without having that ceremony with everybody there. We can celebrate later on, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
I think if we see next year that there's going to be something similar to this situation presenting itself, I think we'd be excited to just say we're going to make this commitment to each other, and this is going to be a story we tell for years to come.
Yeah, and I think, you have to take your own journey, and I think that's a lot of the leading event professionals that share their beautiful photos on PartySlate have said to me, they really have to let their clients lead and let them decide not how to do it, but take your own journey, because you want this to be your special day, and you may not be able to have it until, it's a better environment. So I feel for everyone. We have 3 PartySlate brides that are planning their wedding, and it goes between excitement and tears and disappointment, and it's going to be okay, and I'm sure you're going through that.
We are. The interesting thing is last year I was able to be a part of something called the Wedding Festival in Denver that I helped co-produce with 2 of my friends, and it was a place where 10 couples got married at one time in front of 2,000 people, most of which were strangers. Yeah. And it was a festival. And at the time, I was like, when we started planning this, I was like, is this going to be special at all?
Yeah.
And we did it, and it was so special, and it was so intimate, and there was a lot of love still shared. and people were really excited about sharing in that love story. And so now it is the scenario where we are going to get creative. We might things might not look as the traditional way to do it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it takes that like leap, I think, of getting mentally prepared to make such a huge adjustment.
Yes.
And that's and that's why we're talking about it every day. We're not talking about, oh my gosh, how cool is it we're going to get married, because that's really cool. Yeah. But we're talking about, how are you, like, I bet it's every day one of us asks each other, how are you feeling about this?
Yes.
Like, are you okay? Like, have you forgotten that I love you? Or are you forgetting that I want to make this commitment to you? Like, are you, and that's what I'm hoping we don't ever sacrifice, is we don't ever forget how much we do want to get married.
Yes.
And how exciting this is for us.
Well, I can tell you, everyone from PartySlate and Bachelor Nation, I'm so excited. You're a fan favorite. And I know you've done so many exciting new projects since the show. You have your podcast, you have other things in development. What's kind of next for you, and what are you working on now?
It's been a really fun ride. It's funny. I always joke that it's wild that a reality television show is the thing that kind of gave me the opportunities and the platform to do the stuff I love, and it really has. It's been really great. Years ago, I started on when I was in middle school, I went to Central America for the first time and saw poverty, and my heart started to go towards the idea of, hey, I want to be involved in projects that are fighting injustice. And so we started a coffee company called Generous Coffee that I'm the president of, and we started that 2 years ago. And we sell coffee, and then every amount of profit that we have is donated back to nonprofits fighting injustice around the world. So that's my big thing. Coffee is kind of my major outlet, and it is what I do daily. But I did just finish a book project that I've been working on for over a year, because I'm not good at finishing a book, I guess. It's hard. It was hard for me.
Yeah.
But I poured a lot into it, and that's going to be announced here soon, formally. And then I'll go back on tour. I was hosting the Bachelor Live on Stage tour.
Yeah.
And we canceled that about a month and a half in, and rescheduled everything. And so hopefully whenever we can, I'll be out back on the road, getting to meet Bachelor Nation in person, having fun with them, messing around on stage. And
come to Chicago.
We were going to, actually. I think when we got canceled, I think in 2 more stops with Chicago, it was going to be the very first time my parents had seen me perform.
Yeah.
So we will be there. I just don't know when yet. And
okay.
But those are kind of the big things on my life right now.
That's great. And we on PartySlate, for the people that are joining us that are new, you can look at events of all types, and we're doing a lot of talks about how you have smaller events, backyard events, and how you can have events safely in this new environment. And so we're excited to start celebrating these smaller events, and when bigger events come back, I know we'll put a spotlight on that as well. But our vision is to really be the Vogue of event design, to get really people really excited about inspired events. And so my question to you is, we have a hashtag called Celebrate Soon. Obviously, you're excited to celebrate your wedding soon. Are there other things kind of short term that you're excited when you can see people again that you're excited to celebrate?
Yeah, I'm excited to not get too, like, I'm trying to figure out what I'm learning during this.
Yes.
I'm excited to celebrate people again and people's stories.
Yeah.
This has really humanized all of us. Like, if anybody had an ego, if anybody had pride, if anybody was running a million miles an hour, if anybody maybe wasn't running a million miles an hour, there was like they're bogged down with confusion. I think this is all like gave us a restart.
Yeah.
In the healthiest of ways. And I know a lot of people are hurting, like, during this shutdown, and a lot of people are being, I have 3 restaurants in Denver, and right now they're all 60 to 70% down on sales. Like, they're not doing well, and they're great restaurants. And so I know people are hurting. It's just to celebrate that we've all hurt together. And I think it's going to be really cool to see how we respond. Like, I can't wait to give somebody a hug again. I can't wait to celebrate connection. I can't wait to celebrate the smallest of things. I can't wait to experience joy with others, because there's been moments of joy during the shutdown, but it's hard to have a lot of joy, like moments of joy when you're in a house. Like, I'm excited to like laugh and forget where I'm at. I'm excited to be in the moment with strangers. I'm excited to dance up and down after seeing, love in the air. Like, I'm just excited for those things.
Yeah.
And I think all those things are needing to be celebrated.
Yeah, I agree. We really believe, inspired events inspire people, and it could be 10 people, a driveway party, or a large scale charity event. We really believe that events are part of our culture. So I think it's going to be even the smallest of events that I'm excited to celebrate, to see my parents who are in California and can't see their grandchildren. And
yes,
those are the type of things that I'm excited for. So Jessie Draper is a PartySlate investor, and I know she has done the podcast with you. How did you guys first connect and meet? She's out in LA.
Yeah, through iHeart. So Jessie and I tried a project that I'm going to say it didn't work. Okay. And I don't know why.
Yes.
And Jessie is an incredibly talented, really intelligent investor, a great person.
Yes.
We started a podcast called Lady Bosses, and it just didn't get the listens that we thought it would.
Yeah.
And it was about uplifting and encouraging women in leadership in whatever role they're playing. If it's in their household, if it's in their careers, if it's in sports, we want to highlight them, talk about them, share them, and tell their stories of difficulty and also their stories to celebrate. And it just didn't get listens. And I'm frustrated by that still.
I did listen and I loved it. So
thank you. But we had to stop it because it wasn't viable to continue. And I think Jessie and I both were. I think I still have moments of feeling defeated about that, because I really thought that was a good project to put a lot of effort in. And I think Jessie felt the same way. But that's how we met. Was we just got teamed up as co-hosts.
So that's great. That's I always say it's so great to try new things, and not everything's going to work, and you take learnings from each and carry it over to the next. I know at PartySlate we've launched things that we weren't sure were going to be successful and are hugely successful, and other things we were so hopeful for, like, oh, no one used it. So I love that you're trying new things, and I'm really excited about your coffee business and the social giving component. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's out there listening, and I got to give our plug, right? I mean, PartySlate is fantastic, and it's something that I'm happy to jump on with you all and talk with you all and share. But if anybody out there drinks coffee, especially right now, go to generouscoffee.com. It is specialty grade coffee, so it is really the highest graded coffee you can get. And then we give 100% of our profits back, and it's been a terrific project for the last 2 years, and it's going really well. But during this time when we're all inside, it would be awesome if you could drink some coffee that did something positive. And so that's where I'll end it. It's a good thing. I believe in it. It's what I do, and I've worked on it for 2 years.
That's great.
So yeah, that's how.
I love that you're an entrepreneur as well, and it takes so much work to build a company, but when you believe in the company and it's giving back, it's that much easier to pour your heart into something. So we'll definitely promote it on our side. And I'm a big coffee drinker, so I will be a new client for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You're right. Like, when you're passionate about something, it is the one thing right now. When you believe in something, it really does. You've always heard the saying, when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. But there's days I feel like I'm working 100%. But the mission and the vision of it and the people I get to meet through it has made it all worth it. And I know you care about community and you want to connect people, and that's the world we're in. Our business thrives, and we are connecting people with people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we focus on day to day now.
Yeah, and one thing we've done on our side is, the events industry is really struggling right now, as you can imagine, as restaurants are. You're a restaurant owner. I'm sure you have private event spaces like that. Those are the things we feature on PartySlate. Is we're trying to help people build their digital brand as much as we can, and so by doing email marketing and geeky SEO and all these topics to help event professionals. And we were surprised. We got 500 to 1,000 people registering every single week to learn about digital marketing. And it feels good to give back, and we're not charging for these. It's all free webinars. So thank you for all you're doing. And I have to ask, just because I'm a huge Bachelor fan, tell me, there's good and there's bad with the Bachelor, and you're in the spotlight all the time. Tell me what your experience has been on the positive side, and maybe not the positive side of being in the spotlight from this reality TV celebrity that you've had.
Yeah. That's a good question.
And I'm sure it's mainly positive, but you always do see the trolls out there, and no one's happy. But I have to say, from a branding perspective, and I do consider myself a Bachelor expert, you have a very positive brand in the world. I feel.
Well, I think there's two reasons why.
Yes.
I was told very early on by my friends and my family. I don't know if they got together for this or what.
Yeah.
To never let this be about me.
Yeah.
And that was just the advice that I was given. And I think it's a good lesson for all of us. If we have success in business, if we have success in sports, if we have success personally, I think if you start making it about yourself, I think a lot of people get pushed aside, and it's dangerous to start always thinking inward and not outward. And so that was just good advice that my friends gave me.
Yeah.
And I listened to them because I trust them, and it's gone well for me because now I get to be a part of a lot of cool things.
Yes.
So that's the first thing. The second way I would answer your question is positives. As I said, I went on a reality television show, and now I get to talk to you on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen unless I'm the Bachelor.
Yes.
That's a positive. The same thing is replicable in other ways. If I'm not on The Bachelor, I'm not writing a book. If I'm not The Bachelor, Generous doesn't exist, and if it does exist, it doesn't do half of the stuff it's doing today.
So it's a great platform to amplify great messages, positivity.
100%. It's been a great way for me to amplify the things that I want to be a part of, and the show itself was good to me. The show itself, I tried. It ended in some difficult situations, but it led me to Jessica, and now I get to celebrate with her.
Yeah.
And I feel like our relationship wouldn't be what it is without a piece of what I've learned from the show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the negatives. This is all personal. These are self-inflicted negatives and things I'm getting a lot of help and care for. A ton of envy. Ridiculous amount of envy. If you want to see even some of my closest friends, when they do a project or have a project and I feel like they're getting so much love and support, and then I have a project maybe that I think is of similar value and I don't get the support, it paralyzes me. And it's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not good. It's not who I want to be, but I struggle with envy because of it. It's a lot of comparing.
Yes.
And then the final, most obvious is the public's opinion. I do a podcast, and when you do a podcast, you do Instagram Lives, you kind of put yourself out there, and that you talk a lot about, we talk personally about a lot of things, and it opens up the world to criticism, and that's tough.
Yeah.
And, I think even last week was a good example. I just saw somebody message about it, but, I've learned, one of the things I'm learning, and I'm learning as I go, is I read a book called When Helping Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times in life, I've tried to help and I've hurt in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, based on a lot of this insight and help I've been given, is to, whenever you feel a certain way about something, you need to process and then figure out the best way you can help.
Yes.
And last week I sent a tweet out, and it came off not at all like I expected it to or wanted it to. And unfortunately, because of what I live in, I've opened myself up to criticism and to people to analyze and decipher what I'm saying when really all I want to do is try to help in the wisest ways possible.
Mm-hmm.
And as a human, it's not always easy to see and do.
Yes.
Because I've made so many mistakes along the way where I've allowed myself to go inward and not outward. And so I think that's the hardest part, is to always try to be wise in what you're saying and doing and how you're helping and not hurting situations.
Yeah. And how do you develop kind of such a thick skin? Because there is going to be so much criticism, and I guess with celebrity, but also I do think reality stars tend to get worse. How do you just let it bounce off you? And I appreciate you being vulnerable by sharing that kind of, we compare ourselves to other digital platforms and other startups, and it's easy to do that. And I found by just focusing on your mission and your vision and where you're going, that does help, but easier said than done when you're getting all this, criticism.
Yeah. And I just saw the person that commented back. And I do. I think those are great learning moments.
Yes.
Social media is a bear.
Yeah.
You tweet and comment and post one thing, and it comes off and is read just like a text a completely different way than you wanted it to.
Yes.
So here's one thing, and you said it, and I'm going to have to disagree with you a little bit.
You can. That makes a good Insta Live.
I don't let it bounce off.
Okay.
The smallest of comments stick a little bit. Now, here's kind of the filter that I've worked on. I go to counseling a lot. I talk to a lot of friends and family because I could never do this alone. I'm not smart enough, and I'm not capable of walking through this alone. And so you sometimes the public's opinion and their criticism is right. Say somebody's saying I'm prideful and I'm judgmental. Okay, I need to listen to that and check myself.
Yes.
Let me see what my intentions were in that moment.
Yeah.
If I hope that I love myself enough and care about myself enough to be honest with myself enough to go, you know what, Ben? They're right.
Yeah.
Like
there's some truth in there that you can take as a learning and adjust.
100%. Now, at the same time, there's many moments where I read a comment or I hear a criticism and I go, that's not at all what I meant. Yeah. I know my intentions. Like, that's not at all what I wanted to be portrayed as. That's not at all how I wanted to come off. And then I've gotten to the place where I think this is a good maturing for me is where I can let it roll off.
Yeah. So basically where you feel like it's unjustified, either try to, correct the misperception, or if it is justified, just kind of take it in and reposition. I mean, I think that's healthy. I think that's a good approach. And I know we have over 10,000 event professionals that share their work on PartySlate. There's been times when we've written an article or done something where we get feedback. We just try to learn from the feedback and get better. And I always tell people we are not perfect, but we're just trying to shine a light on the creativity of this amazing industry. And we do the best we can. And our team is so amazing. So, but I want to thank you for your time. And I do have to give a shout out my college friends. Julie and Vicky, Yos is her nickname. They're watching right now.
Awesome.
Big fans.
Hello, everybody.
Big fans. And our PartySlate team, we are, again, you're one of our fan favorites, and I appreciate all the good things you're doing through your coffee company and your projects. I really, again, I do feel you have such a good, again, brand in Bachelor Nation. So I appreciate your time. And one last question about your wedding and your beautiful fiance. If there is anything we can do to help you in thinking through your wedding, PartySlate is here to help.
I really appreciate that. Thanks for having me. You guys are great, and I'm glad we could do this. It means a lot. Thanks for your questions. Those are great questions. I don't get those type of questions often to where we can talk as people, and so I appreciate that. So
one day I want to be like an Oprah Winfrey. So I'm not famous right now, but this is my practice, and so you are a great person to interview. Awesome.
Hey, I hope for that for you, and then one day when you look back and say, "There's this guy at one time named Ben who had his moment of celebrity, and he encouraged me to go out and be that host." So hey, go out and be that host.
I will one day, and I'll use PartySlate as my platform. And again, we're so excited for your engagement and all the pain and back and forth you went through with the Bachelor show. I do believe it led you to this moment. So I'm so happy for you. I do think things happen for a reason, and we are so excited to follow along in your journey and share with our users and our visitors what you're doing, and can't wait to see what comes next for you.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate
you. Appreciate your time. Bye. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We're going to record this, and it will be on our Insta Live feed. Have a great day.